Can you explain the top and bottom wick, Don? What about it though? There's different types of tops and bottom wicks, right? There's like, for instance, there's a bearish closure of no bottom wick. There is a bullish candle of no top wick. This is the same shit, just vice versa. There's also a bullish closure with no bottom wick, and there's also a bearish closure with no top wick. So there's a huge difference between this set and this set, right? Huge difference. Now, what is the difference, Don? Well, I'm trying to think about the answer right now. So that difference is like, typically whenever you would have no bottom, no top wick, what that would indicate is, it'll indicate that, so for instance, like when you have a wick on price, I'm sorry if you heard this 1,000 times, but I just gotta do it. Let's say you have a candle looking like this, right? Looking like this. So when you have a candle looking like this, let's say this is the 4-hour time frame. If you were to drop down to the 1-hour time frame, what will this show? This is gonna show what's called this. So 1, 2, and then 3, right? Obviously, you now have a wick. So typically that wick would probably be the last couple of candles. I would say the last one for now. I would say this would be the last candle. The last candle will close bearish like so, right? So when you have a wick here, you have what's called a range. A wick is a range. And if you don't believe me, here you go. So this is a resistance right here, because why? You printed a bearish closure at resistance. That's your resistance now being formed. And then your support is down here based off of where you closed. So this is the range you're currently in, right? On a small time frame. This is the 4-hour time frame. This is the 1. This 1 hour would be creating a range. So when you fill the wick, right, to drive up on the 1-hour time frame, you may see the 1 hour fill the wick like so. On a small time frame, what that could be printing is this: a bullish closure as support, right, to continue pushing up to retest the highs. Therefore, you might see the candles pushing up like this, right? So like this range here led to a breakout, and that's what a wick fill is. So when you have a wick, you have a range, that's what's being printed. But when you don't have a wick, what happens is you're looking like this. This is how it's gonna look. When you don't have a wick, you're just at resistance. There's no range. There's no pullback, right? So when you have no top or bottom wick and you're at the top of the range, since you're at resistance, you would tend to struggle more at the resistance than if you were to be creating a range, because that range gives you the extra air room in that range to drive up to the top of the range, right? But you don't have the top of the range here because it's already at the top of the range. Therefore, it's at the indecision level. It doesn't know what it wants to do yet, right? So when you have no top wick, which in this case you have no top wick here, the chances of the next 1 hour count driving up is very low, or a lot lower. It's like a 50-50 because you have no top wick. It could drive up, right? But what happens after it drives up is it could just, like, let's say like come back down like so. So that's what that is. What are you guys saying? Gold's flying? I mean, we weren't looking for buys yet anyways, right? We're waiting for the top wick, which is just formed now, which is good, right? So if we can flip bearish, that'll be great. But you have 21 minutes left, so I don't know if you'll be able to flip in time. You might end up closing above the range to continue driving up, for all I know. Let's see. I think the flip we had was like around here, like a 20-33, something like that. Jumbo clips.